What's up YouTube? This is Just My Opinion, and today I will be reviewing Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreak. This album is actually going on its 10-year anniversary, and in honor of it I wanted to review it, and in honor of this review I decided to rock my Make Kanye West 2006 Again hat. Kanye, we all know him, rapper and producer from Chicago, already know his backstory. If you have not seen my Life of Pablo review, check it out. If you have not seen my Graduation review, check it out. But this one I wanted to do because I think it's one of the more important albums to come out within the past 10 years. After his famous trilogy of College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, all considered modern hip-hop classics, he decided to stray away from hip-hop completely with this album. He was dealing with, at the time, a breakup and also the death of his mother, and he decided on this album to make a experimental synth-pop album, which he is singing predominantly on this as opposed to rapping, using the vocal effect auto-tune. And the album opens with Say You Will, which production-wise it's very, very minimalistic, has some great tribal drums, beautiful pianos, a really chilling choir synth, and some glitchy electronic noises. The very minimal aesthetic works though because it really captures Kanye West's singing performance and vocal performance. Now, he's not the greatest singer in the world, but the way that he used auto-tune really captured his emotions and melody. And this song is all about a girl that he is ultimately longing for. It does drag a little bit, being 6 minutes long, but it is a great example of what we're going to get for the rest of the album. And then we get Welcome to Heartbreak, which is not only, in my opinion, my favorite song on this entire album, it is probably my favorite Kanye West song of all time. It's definitely one of his most somber and one of his most personal tracks I think he's ever put out. I like the leaked version of the song, production-wise, a little bit more than the final version, but it still had some great electronic elements in there. Somber synths, some very brooding drums, nice, quiet, mellow keys and pianos, and it really set a perfect tone for Kanye West singing about his struggle with fame and making the right and wrong decisions in his life. Living with fame, he kind of traded his happiness and a life with a family and everything like that for fame. And Kid Cudi, this is one of the first introductions to Kid Cudi, who actually helped co-write this song and several songs throughout this album, and he did an amazing job on the chorus as well. Then we get Heartless, which I was never a huge fan of the song, but I have to admit it is a perfect pop song in almost every sense. I love the tugboat kind of sounding whistle melody throughout the course of the song. It has some nice 808s to it. It's a little bit more upbeat than the past couple songs we've heard. It has a nice, very catchy chorus. Kanye West's vocal performance on this is very good, and he's talking all about this girl who pretty much, playing him from the start, cheated on him and was heartless throughout the entire act. You then get Amazing, another standout track of mine. Absolutely amazing song. This is just a hauntingly triumphant moment on the album for Kanye. Love the melancholy pianos, the nice tribal drums, the chilling choir on the hook again on the song, nice melodies. Kanye West does a great job vocally, again, pretty much just talking about how no matter what he's done as far as his wrongdoings or his hurdles as a man or an artist, he still is coming out on top and he's still standing tall. And I think Young Jeezy does a good job adding to the song, gives a bit of diversity, and actually gives an actual rap verse. This is one of the very, very few straight up rap verses we get on the entire album. We then get Love Lockdown, another standout track of mine. Absolutely love this song. A little bit more upbeat, but still very minimal and sparse in production. Has a nice driving kick and 808 to it. And Kanye on this one, again, does very good job emotionally with the vocoder and auto-tune effect, playing with his vocals, crafting another perfect pop song. This is all about a girl in which he was in a relationship with, and he has kind of conflicted emotions about losing this girl. Should he have been more open and honest with this girl about his feelings as opposed to keeping his feelings on lockdown and not really showing his true feeling? Then we get Paranoid, another standout track of mine on this, another great song. Easily the most electro pop driven song on the entire project. The synths and the synth bass on this just layered together so heavy, so grand sounding, and the very driving kicks, the distorted snares and hi-hats are great. Kid Cudi and Mr. Hudson provide great backing vocals on the chorus of this song. And Kanye West does the most rapping on this than he did on the entire album. This is the closest we actually get to Kanye rapping on the album, although he is still using heavily the auto-tune effect and kind of sing rapping melodically on this song. And this song is all about this girl who is paranoid about Kanye and all these different women that are trying to come into Kanye West's life. We then get Robocop, which in my opinion has some of the cheesiest lyrics on the album, but still a good song nonetheless. Also is one of the more glitzy sounding songs on the album. I think that's because mostly on the chorus of the song, it has these very soaring strings and these soaring bells that come in, kind of sound very video game-ish, but the drums still hit super hard, and it has this really cool electronic effect on it. Kind of sounds like a Transformers coming to life. I thought that sounded dope. And the way Kanye West was playing with his vocals again throughout the course of this song also sounded very, very dope as well. Then we get Streetlights, which in retrospect on the album is probably my least favorite song, but still a good song nonetheless. I like it still has very hard-hitting drums. I like the very somber, bleak pianos and the glitchy synths throughout it. I like how on the production throughout this song it could go from very soft and quiet and compact to very dense and loud. It still has some great backing vocals, and I like the message behind the song about how life in front of Kanye West's eyes is changing at such a very rapid pace, and he's struggling to try to keep up with the changing pace of his life. We then get Bad News, which again has a beautifully somber feel to it, some nice reverb, tribal drums, great pianos, and we get an orchestra solo kind of like in the second half of the song, mostly led by a nice violin section. And Kanye on this one is talking about his ex and kind of how he found out that he got cheated on by his ex. He sounds very, very devastated, but at the same time sounds like he's also masking his emotions because he's embarrassed of the fact that he was played for as a fool at the same exact time. We then get See You in My Nightmares, which is another standout track of mine. Absolutely love this song. I love the very spacey, out of this world sounding synths on it. It has the nice 808 to it. Beautiful strings on it. I love Kanye's delayed auto-tune vocals throughout this entire song. It sounds great. And he is angry on this song. He's kind of coming to the realization that he needs to move on from this relationship, from this breakup, which can always be the hardest thing that you could possibly do. And I think Lil Wayne adds great to that aesthetic and aspect on this song as well. And finally, the album closes with Coldest Winter, which in aesthetic throughout the entire song, it does have a very cold, chilling feel. From the production, it has these harsh electronics, very hard-hitting tribal drums, very melancholy synths that give that very cold feel to it. And Kanye on this one gives another great, captivating vocal performance. This one's all about loss and kind of trying to get over that loss. It could be interpreted as the loss of his mother. It could be interpreted as the loss of his ex-girlfriend that he was in a relationship. It could be interpreted either way, but still carries over the same message and is a great closer to what is a great album. So in conclusion, to me, at least in my opinion, this is Kanye West's most risky, most vulnerable, but most important album of his career. While it was still praised critically and by fans as well, it was wildly misunderstood by many, as far as critically and from the fans as well. A lot of people thought that he was going to steer away from hip hop completely in the future, but what he did with this album that was so important is he helped pave the way for a lot of the new artists now in hip hop and helped kind of revolutionize what's going on in hip hop today. If it wasn't for this album, there would be no Drake, there would be no Kid Cudi. Those two artists were very pivotal and influential as far as the sound in which hip hop and the direction in which hip hop has gone in today. And although this sound and style was not yet really artistically refined, Kanye West definitely did a good job as far as doing so much with so little. The sparse and chilling minimalism throughout this gave a very raw and emotional atmosphere throughout the entire project, and most importantly, he pulled this off. He was definitely familiar with these sounds, and you could hear it before he even made this, even though it was only made in a couple-week time span. And although he was heavily relying on auto-tune, which gives off this obviously very robotic sounding effect to your vocals, what he was talking about and how he was doing it, this made one of his most human albums and relatable and human albums of all time. Overall, I give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Remember, this is just my opinion, and thank you for watching YouTube. And of course, again, make Kanye 2006 again. I'm out.